Hey, everybody. Welcome to yet another TJ and Paul Grease Trap with me streaming from my temporary setup at my uncle's place in Missouri.
Missouri.
Missouri. I'm in a town that is 96% black right now.
Dude, and you're alive?
I'm yet I live.
And
I
you're,
stand
wait
before.
a minute. Okay, but you're just a visitor though, but your uncle is
Right.
black, right?
No, he's white too.
But he lives there.
So I asked him about it. I'm like, do you ever get any of this like shit you see in the movies, like "fuck you, white motherfucker," whatever the fuck kind of bullshit? He says, if anything, people are like way super nice to him because they're like so happy that a white person is like there that it's like literally he goes places, people are just like, "Let me buy you a drink, yeah," you know.
That sounds like fun.
They love the novelty of it, like, wow, a white guy's here, you know.
Damn.
So
well,
yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I mean, it contradicts everything that you're taught. You know what I mean?
I know. And I'll tell you what, it's because it's the fucking it's the suburbs. It's like black suburbs, but it's fucking burbs. Like, if I just drove you through this town with only like media recognition of like what black areas look like, you'd never in a million years be like, this is like the ghetto or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks like any other fucking town in America. But it's made me realize how racist I am, because I'm like fascinated by that. I'm like, wow, it's so normal. You know, I'm like, I feel like Bill O'Reilly, where it's like, they eat with forks.
Oh, wow, TJ. Wow.
I'm shocked. Look, their lawn is so well kept. The house is so nice. There's not even any bars on the windows of the businesses.
They must be some of the smart ones.
Good job. And I'm like, wow, I need to deal with some shit. I got some problems going on inside.
I mean, we all do, though, to a certain extent.
Still got some work to do on my... But, like, the media fucking does it to you, too.
Of course.
Because you know what? I never used to be scared of fucking white dudes. Now I'm fucking... I see a white dude, I'm instantly on edge. I'm like, oh, it's going to be like an anti-masker or some shit. And that's always weird, too. Like, every fucking time I go inside an establishment, I'm like, put on my mask. And I'm like, is this going to be like a thing? I mean, am I going to walk in and see like a bunch of like adults wearing their masks? Or am I going to walk in and see a bunch of like,
right, people all bitching at you for doing it? Yeah.
And I will tell you this. I was in Louisiana. People are wearing their masks in Louisiana now because they're taking it seriously. I was in fucking Alabama recently. People were wearing their masks there. I was in Mississippi recently. People were wearing their masks there. But when I got to fucking rural Missouri, it was nothing but fucking anti-abortion signs and anti-maskers.
Yeah.
Pretty much until you get to the city. When you get to the city, it's like, okay, now we're in civilization again. But that whole drive through the Missouri country, which I drove through Festus, Missouri, by the way.
Oh man, did you sing the tune as you drove through? Festus is the greatest town of all.
So here's how it was. I'm driving down the road. Chelsea's driving. I'm like kind of just looking out the window and stuff, like, oh, another little shithole town, like looking like, what's this town got? Because you got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, it's like McDonald's, Burger King, Dairy Queen, whatever, fucking. And so I'm driving through and I see this sign. It's like Festus. I'm like, Festus? Festus, Missouri?
Yeah.
And then by the time I realized that that's where I wasn't there anymore. So
it's a very small place. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if there will ever come a time where I won't run across a very hard reference, or if I ever find myself driving through Festus, that I won't get a shiver down my spine. As far from that person as I've gotten, and as far from, like, I've actually gotten to the point where it's not like, okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's every day, but it's not all day every day like it used to be, where a Keenism will pop out of me or a reference will remind me of him very strongly or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's like usually on average, I'd say once a day, I hear somebody say something or I see something in a piece of media that's very reminiscent of him. I think that was really like what was so fascinating about him. We were talking in the other Grease Trap briefly about like G-Man. And
Yeah.
see, I put the matinee and G-Man in two different fucking categories because there is something in like absolutely magnetic about the matinee, dude. Say what you want about it. Maybe not as presented, but through the lens of people who are willing to pick apart everything he says and does, right?
Yeah.
He's a gold mine. He can't help but be a gold. Well, at least he used to be. Like I said, I don't keep up on his shit no more. I've got little birds that keep me aware of what his like doings are, but I always observe from afar now.
Yeah, it's like from a distance, like, what is the matinee up to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody will
He's
send
in
me a
this stage
thing.
of the cycle, I see. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's like, and it's all predictable shit. Everything I hear is predictable. But
man, I tell you what, his domain or whatever, God TV radio expired, and I was like, oh, should I buy it?
that would be yeah.
No, it was too expensive though. I was like,
Yeah, fuck
nah,
that.
fuck all that. Maybe if it was still DP days, first of all, someone else would have swooped up before I even saw that. But I'd have been like, boom, taking that. But these days, like, what is it really going to do for me?
Right.
GodTVRadio.com.
And you know some of that money's going in his pocket too because he's selling it.
You know what sucks about it? Here's a thing where I have to fucking like. There's certain things I have to do to avoid reminding myself of him.
Yeah.
Like, cause like now when I make a video for my channel, I try to like remember. Oh, I have other things I want to promote, and like one of the things I want to promote is like I stream over on TJ Does Life, right?
Yeah.
And so the natural thing I want to say is like, and be sure to check out my streaming channel, TJ Does Live. I'm like, nope, sounds too much like, be sure to check out my gaming channel.
Yeah.
Games Love. It's like, nope, got a couple alternate wording. You can also find me at TJ Does Life, where I do streaming content, you know. So it's like
that's all you have to do too, because he would never create something so lucid, you know. You just have to add a drop of lucidity to everything that you do.
And it's like, be sure to check out my gaming channel.
Yeah, if you enjoyed what you saw, you can find me in several places, here, and here. Thank you very much for watching. You know, that's it. He would never in a million years even come up with that sentence.
Another time when I fucking find myself thinking about him is sometimes I'll watch Forensic Files and stuff.
Yeah.
And cops are very fond of situation and individual.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, they also, I think it's because they're similarly like dumb guys trying to sound smart.
Yep.
And those are like easy dumb guy trying to sound smart words. Instead of calling a person, he's like, that's individual. I noticed then that the individual seemed to be carrying a pistol of some kind. It's like,
so we've got a hostage situation on our hands.
Situation. These individuals have created quite the situation. So.
Maybe that's why he picked up on it. Maybe he was just like raised on law.
You know, another word that cops like, but Brett never really, I never heard Brett use, but I do hear cops use. That's in the same vein. There's like situation, individual. The individuals were in an altercation. The situation escalated. Escalated, altercation, individual, situation. There are certain words that are definitely like, they're not exclusive to cops, but they're like cop words.
Yeah. You can tell he was inspired by some fucking Perry Mason or something when he was a kid.
Yeah.
He pulled a little from Perry Mason. I think he also like, because he was very fond of like, he might have pulled some, dude, I had something in my mind and now I'm just thinking about Perry Mason, The Life of a Stoner.
Yeah. That's just how it goes. That's what these grease traps are for, though.
Yeah.
And, you know, now that you've mentioned Perry Mason, I'm thinking about the Ozzy Osbourne song, Perry Mason. I'm just like, who can we get on the case calling Perry Mason?
Dude, Perry Mason was a badass, for sure.
And then HBO's got a new Perry Mason show that I don't think it's actually still running, but I think they did something with that. I honestly don't even know who the fuck Perry Mason is, but...
Where the fuck did he get truffles from?
I don't know.
See, that's the thing, is like,
he was doing like truffles and truffles.
Truffles and truffles of atheists came forward and renounced their atheism.
Yeah, what was he trying to say there?
like gaggle or like a group.
Yeah.
Or like he was trying to think of a word that would describe like a mob or like
Right. I mean, I get the kind of like, but I'm trying to think of like what specifically made those wires cross and him to think that Truffles was a unit of measurement.
See, I don't think that the wires ever crossed. I think that he grew up thinking that truffles meant that there was a lot of it.
Right. So just like he thought it meant like oodles or something.
Oodles, yeah. Oodles. That's probably the closest. Like it was maybe he had a weird family member who used truffles like oodles, and it just, you know what I mean? But I've never heard that anywhere else. I've never heard somebody tell me that they have truffles and truffles of, you know, corn, and if I want some, they'll give it to me or whatever.
But this is a guy who confidently was like, the rind of Zeo de Dong, and then was like, yep.
What a fucked up name that guy has, huh?
Yeah.
That's what he followed it with. Yeah. Now you fucked it up. The rind of Zeo de Dong, bro. Unbelievable like, that came out of him, and he put it in. Because it wasn't like forward. I remember we were watching that, and it was only like, I don't know, a minute or two into a video, and it's just like, you know, like even if you want to be lazy and do a one take video, which is what we're doing here,
sure,
like. You know what I mean? If you're doing a real short one, scrap it.
Here's the difference to me. If I was doing a video and I was like, Zeo de Dong, I'd be like, I would at least be like, I got that wrong. That's not.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that or whatever. I
can't remember the exact name. It was something like that.
Sure.
You know, whatever. But
he was just confident with it.
Zeo de Dong, yeah.
Zeo de Dong.
Remember his line, a lot of atheism in that line. Individuals were killed in the situation, which was communist situation.
Stalin and Zeo de Dong.
Yeah. They started firing on all cinder blocks and, you know, or whatever the fuck that one was. It was
that's one of my favorite, working on all cinder blocks.
Yeah, working on all cinder blocks.
Which is like the opposite of the thing you want to, because nothing that's sitting on cinder blocks is working, dude.
Yeah.
It's a car that's broken that you sit on cinder blocks. Whatever.
Yeah.
Working on all cinder blocks. There were a number of those.
All cinder blocks, you know?
A number of those were just like absolutely just fucking unconscionable and had to come from a really warped mind. You know what I mean?
I have no fucking clue. Sometimes.
Like Dunning-Kruger to the max is what I think it is, honestly. Like he would hear something in a movie like, you know, these truffles are precious. And his dumbass mind thought it meant that there were lots and lots of them, you know what I mean? And he was like, oh, wow. And then he's sitting down doing one of his impromptu videos, because you know that motherfucker never wrote a thing in his life.
You know, and Paul Ziegel said, I have the Freddy Krueger situation, which, you know, I think that's really unfair for him to compare me.
Yeah.
To Freddy Krueger. You know?
I mean, he is, though. He's kind of like a retarded Freddy Krueger. Because... But one of the things that's forever changed about me, nobody works with that close to the matinee for as long as we did, and they, you know, comes out without any battle scars. And the one for me is, I don't even say the word God anymore, dude. I say Gord. I say, oh my Gord, all fucking day, dude.
Yeah, it's just become God's name is now Gord in your mind.
Yeah, it's Gord. And if somebody's name is Dawn, I haven't run into a whole bunch of Dawns, but I've seen, you know, gone into restaurants where there's been a Dawn, and I don't necessarily call them it, but Dorn.
In your mind, it's like Dorn. Yeah,
so
you can't help it.
The name Dawn is forever ruined for me. It's Dorn, and Gord is, you know, which I kind of like, because, you know, I'm not invoking something I don't believe in now. I believe in Gord. I've seen Gord.
I don't believe in God, but I do believe in Gord.
I've seen Gord, man.
He's a good one.
Yeah.
Detective Reznor approached the situation with caution.
He's seen the battle take place
between the heaven and hell.
And then Golgotha appeared.
She emerged from a ring of fire that shot up from the ground like a cigarette.
It's starting to get too lucid and too good. You can't do it. That's another thing about him.
Damn it.
You can't be as inept as him. At least you're not Brett Keane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck.
Anything you try is too good. You know, it's beyond like fucking kindergarten level conceptualization.
I want to go. I want to make the film adaptation of Eternal Undying Love. You know, that's still my dream.
Man, have you ever read that piece of shit, bro?
No, and
I
never
read it
will.
cover to. You remember he sent us a copy.
Yeah,
I took I took it back to my apartment when I lived in the same place where we shot DP.
Do you remember what the plot is? What happens in that book?
Nothing. There isn't a plot, bro. Okay, so let me tell you. There's a group of high school kids, and they all hate on Brett Keane.
Okay,
but it's not Brett Keane. It's some other
like
name.
Detective Resner or whatever.
No,
right?
Detective Resner is a different guy.
Okay.
But Brett Keane has an analog in the beginning of the book who is obviously him, and all the kids pick on him because he dresses like a goth and all this shit.
They were jealous of how stylish
right.
he was.
And then some demon gets set loose in the school and starts killing and possessing kids. And then Detective Resner shows up and sees this other character, Brett Keane, and is like, you're the only kid that can help me stop this, you know, and blah, blah, blah. You know, what being an outsider situation means and all. It's horrible.
Yeah, okay.
They end up going in at some point to the fucking school, and there's a bunch of nuns in it, even though it wasn't like a religious school at the beginning because the demons have turned it into like some kind of fucking inverted Christian nun place.
Okay.
And then Detective Resner basically beats the bad influence in the school and kills a bunch of people in the process. But then somebody, if I remember correctly, abducts the Brett Keane character. And that's Eternal Undying Love 2, Serpent in the Cradle, if you want to get into that. I haven't read that one. I stopped at the first one.
I would have been hungry for more, I feel like.
Oh, no. I made it sound way better than it is. It's written like a fucking like fourth grader wrote it. It's literally like, and then Jimmy seen Laura talking shit behind his back. And Jimmy walked up and said, hey, Laura, why are you talking smack, bitch? And Laura just smiled, that evil smile that Laura had. And she said, fuck you, Jimmy. You're nothing but a loser, and you'll never be anything. You know, it's just like that level of fucking, you know.
I love it.
It's just real bad, so like beautiful. Teenage fanfic level shit. I don't know who ended up with the book. I didn't. I took it back to my apartment to read it, and then I put it back in the studio because we would do readings from it sometimes.
Yeah, it must be Ben's at this point because I don't have it.
Yeah. But yeah, I know somebody sent that to us. But yeah, I've never owned the second or third novel. There's Eternal Undying Love 2, Serpent in the Cradle, and then Eternal Undying Love 3. I can't remember, but it has a really absurd tagline on it.
Hell on Earth.
It's something like that, yeah. I can look it up. Let me see if I can find it.
Deader,
yeah. Let me see. Eternal Undying Love 3. There's got it. Oh, wait. I was wrong. Eternal Undying Love 3 is Serpents in the Cradle.
Oh, what's 2 called then?
Okay, so Eternal Undying Love 2 is The Second Coming. I should have known.
Oh, man.
Still on sale with 11 ratings. Worst book ever made, 0 out of 10.
Worst book ever made. I love it.
The 5-star reviews are obviously written by the author on fake accounts. And this is back in 2016, so they had him nailed back then. But here's one. Bon appetit, my friends. Clear your schedules and prepare yourselves for a literary feast like no other. This dark and delicious, daring novel will... And this is obviously a troll. He gave it 5 stars, though, so you know what I mean? He was committed.
Yeah, he loves it.
Do not read this trash. Absolute garbage. That's the full review.
Do not read this trash. Absolute garbage.
I gotta read this one though. There's a 4-star one. There's a 4-star one that says Brett's done it again. Brett does it again. Brett Keane has done it again, blending a wild nightmare gleaned from the soon-to-come biblical apocalypse with passages of sacred texts coupled by ghoul. This is one that he wrote. This is from 2005.
Why 4 stars though? That's what I want to know.
Because he wanted to make it look real. You know what I mean?
He's like, I don't care for 4 stars.
Yeah, well, some of these Frank reviews I'll put 4 stars on. But this is way back when he was actually doing this grift, so this is definitely written by him. If you enjoyed the first glimpse of the horror, you will be well pleased with deeper look into nightmare of eternal and dying love. 100% written by him. 100%.
Oh, so beautiful, so tasty.
100% written by him, man. I love these. I love these old ones. Let me see what the oldest one's on here. Go to next page. Okay. Mr. Keen has written another good book. You won't be able to put this one down. Well written. Congrats.
Congrats.
That one's pretty tame. An awesome sequel to Eternal Undying Love. The storyline will keep you in suspense from beginning to end. Watch as the war between good and evil grows. Capture the development of each character and their struggle to stay alive in the face of adversity. Oh, boy. Brett does it again. I love that one. Oh, God, this is great. This is from 2005. The most intriguing works I've read this year. Intriguing is spelled ENTRIGNG.
Yeah.
This is one of the best books I have ever read. The nonstop series of event will keep you on edge of your seat. This book bring to life the worst of our imaginations about the war between good and evil, with the dead rising from the sea. And the war starts, and the
dead rising from the sea?
Yeah, dead rising from the sea, and the war starts, and the dying of the human race as a whole. This book will keep you in suspense from beginning to an end. Once you start, you will not be able to put it down. This book will make you think about the what ifs of the world of good and evil. Buying this book is a great investment for any family.
A great investment for any family?
That's what it says.
What?
From 2005.
Can you imagine? All right, kids, gather around. We're reading Eternal Undying Love 2, The Second Coming.
Yeah. Bon appetit, dude. Oh, shit, bro. Man.
Fuck.
I hate doing it, but...
Fuck.
You got to take a look at every once in a while and remember the good times, the bad times.
Let the good times roll. Yeah, fucking A. That's a crazy fucking shit.
Fucking, have you seen the cock teasing Dune reviews that they're starting to sprinkle out because it premiered in Venice?
Yeah, I've seen some of the reviews. I saw a lot of super effusive with praise ones. That I saw some that were like a little less effusive. That were more like, ugh, I don't know.
Dude, I saw like one and
more of a visual spectacle than an actual film.
It's like
a film whose ambitions are greater than its, premise or whatever the fuck kind of shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I hate it.
But then other ones are like, this is the most superlatively brilliant film ever made. It will revolutionize. It will change the way you see films.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm getting a lot of... pretty much no one is like, it's terrible. So.
Yeah.
Good.
I did see a dude that said that he left the film literally shaking because it was like a religious experience to see it. And I'm like, man, I hope that guy's the one that's not bullshitting.
Yeah, that's the one you want to be true. Like, yeah, right. Yeah.
But
it's looking like it's going to come out when they said, but I don't know.
I mean, you never know, but, it could. They haven't given any fucking sign publicly or otherwise that they're pulling the date. Yeah, and I just don't know what I'm going to do. Like, if COVID is crazy, I guess I'll go try and get my booster shot before then if I can. Scam my way into one and then just mask up because I want to go see that shit in IMAX, dude.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So if that's open near where I'm at, then that's what I'm doing. If not, I've got HBO Max, so I plan on just like turning off all the lights, maxing out my sound system to the point where it like almost hurts my ears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just
This house will now shake with the sounds of Dune.
yes, dude. But either way, I'm just tired of being cock teased about it, bro. I'm so sick of it. I've been ready to explode for so fucking long that like I feel like one of those like subs that's in a fucking scene where they're like, all right, dude, this is no longer sexy. I just need to kind of like blow a load and be done with this.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like ready. It's like, all right, I'm ready to come. Come on.
Like it's been like a year and a half, you know what I mean? And I've been in the vacuum tube and you've been like feathering my penis, you know what I mean? Like, and I can't deal anymore.
It's like, all right, you've teased me enough. Let me have it.
Grab that motherfucker, ruin the orgasm if you're going to, okay? Because like whatever. If the movie sucks, that's the ruined orgasm. I can't help that. But whatever it is, scene end. Because man,
you'd be in denial. I'd probably be in denial if I waited that long.
If it
I'd probably
sucks,
watch it.
If it sucks, I will be its most vociferous critic. Trust me. I will not be making excuses for this goddamn movie. Too cock teased for way too fucking long, bro.
You're just gonna be like, no.
Nope. If it sucks, it sucks. I will tell everybody it sucks. And I have a metric to fucking put it against, dude. Lynch's Dune. If it doesn't rise to that level of entertainment value and interest and character development and, you know, because there's a lot of fun stuff in Lynch's Dune. If it doesn't entertain me to the same level as Lynch's Dune, I'm going to pan the fucking thing. Pan it.
Like, just like, didn't even get me to the Lynch level, so fuck it.
So, but I don't think that's going to happen. From what I've seen of it, it looks like what I want. Like the people that are complaining it's like more of a visual spectacle, like that's kind of how I want this book to be, because like the interactions between people in Dune are perfunctory as fuck. And like you can put those in, but a lot of Dune, especially the first book, is about the sweeping landscape of Arrakis and the worms and these big giant kind of battles and these psychedelic explorations of the inner world that Paul does. Like I want a visual experience with this shit. Because the novel is written in a very visual way, or at least large swaths of it are like, you know, people's fucking visions and dreams and Paul tripping out on the fucking water of life and all that shit. You know, like that. I want to see all that. I want to see all that represented on the screen. So yeah, that's probably not going to be something that I pan the movie for. But if it's nothing but that, see, the guy that said he was shaking compared the movie to 2001: A Space Odyssey in terms of like, you know, yeah, there's characters in it. Yes, there's dialogue, but it's all secondary to the spectacle. And I was like, cool. That's kind of what I want out of this. So if that's
I mean, if they can give us something that's on the level of 2001: A Space Odyssey in terms of like visually stunning kind of thing, because I mean that movie, especially for its time, is like, whoa.
Well, they've released a few things from it that have been pretty impressive, but they've been pretty tight-lipped on what they've released about it. We've only gotten to see the worm like one time, really, a couple of times.
Yeah, we got one glimpse of that in one of the trailers. They give you a pretty good look, but like, you know, they didn't like let you revel in it or anything. They showed it to you.
No.
And then Arrakis looks great, and the character designs look great.
So far, so good. Like the one thing that they've really teased me on is like I haven't really like a lot of people are effusive with what they've seen about the Baron, and I'm still iffy on it. I was talking about this on a Ideology the other night. Like people were asking like, is there anything that worries you about Dune? And I was like, there's a couple of things that worry me about Dune. Number one is Stellan Skarsgård. Like he looks cool, but we've only seen him say like, "This is my Dune." You know what I mean? And like that's not enough. Like I like the way he looks, but I want to see him interact with other characters. I want to see him give a speech.
Yeah, because you know the one character that to me pops out in that book as like just from their personality is probably Baron Harkonnen.
Well, he's huge too in the later books too, because he comes back as a ghost that lives inside.
He's like in the girl's.
He's inside of Alia's brain, like because they're related to the Harkonnens. That's a big secret, is that Paul is like half Atreides, half Harkonnen, because Lady Jessica is a Harkonnen, and that's a big reveal in the book. So whatever, fuck it. I just spoiled it for everybody. It doesn't matter. Point being that's one person that, like, if the Baron doesn't hit on every cylinder for me, there's gonna be part of me that's disappointed, because I really like.
I'm a little sad that didn't hit a little better.
Yeah, it won't ruin the film for me, but I'm worried about it a little bit. And the other person, and maybe you'll disagree or agree with me on this, Jason Momoa.
Well, I'll tell you this. I hate Jason Momoa. I hate his stupid fucking face. I never want to look at him. I pretty much, if it wasn't a movie that I really want to see, like Dune, I would almost write it off. And I mean, obviously he's part of a huge ensemble cast, so I guess I'm willing to put up with it. But like, I hate him. I don't like when he's in stuff. I pretty much avoid his ass. People have told me, like, I've even had people be like, honestly, Aquaman's kind of a fun popcorn movie. I'm like, maybe it is, but I don't want to see it because I fucking hate Jason Momoa. I hate that guy. I hate his stupid face. I hate his fucking attitude. I don't know.
Well, the character that he plays in the book, Duncan Idaho, is like it's the most important role in the books.
Yeah,
he's the thread that goes through them all.
I'll say, if anybody can get a good performance out of that guy, Denis Villeneuve seems like a pretty good candidate for that. So
I just wish they would have fucking put The Rock in there, dude.
The Rock
could have done it, bro.
I think that's almost what pisses me off about Jason Momoa, is like, I just want him to be The Rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
The Rock could have done it.
Big, dumb, fucking muscle guy that's kind of likable. You know what I don't like? Here's the thing. The Rock, I could tell I would actually like that guy. Jason Momoa, I could tell, is a piece of shit. Rubs me the wrong fucking way. I don't like the guy. Is it just because
he's so, like, incredibly crazy, blindingly attractive? Is that what it is that pushes you away?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
He's hot as
fuck. He's got that smoldering look. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because there's other dudes that are like The Rock and shit, attractive guy, looks good, fucking handsome face, muscular body. I don't have the same feelings of hatred, even though I almost hate every movie The Rock is in. I do not hate The Rock.
Yeah.
But Jason Momoa, I'm just like, I don't like that motherfucker.
I'm in the same boat. There's one line really that we get from him in a lot of the teasers, and it's this, and I really don't like the delivery on it. He's got his swords out, and he's like, "Let's fight like demons." And I'm just like, no. If that's the fucking highlight of fucking his performance, you know what I mean? And so I'm worried about Jason Momoa in this.
Let's fight like demons.
That's what he says, but it's not even with that type of glee. Yeah. He's just like, let's fight like demons. We fight like demons. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
He's not a good actor. Another thing, they do have another line that they show him in with the trailer where he tells Paul, like, "Oh, getting some muscle there." And Paul's like, "Really?" He's like, "No."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
just like,
I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people in my chat were like, "Oh, because they were guessing before I told them who I was worried about," and they were like, Timothée Chalamet," and I was like, "No." I was like, you know what? Before I saw the couple of trailers they released and shit, I was heavily worried about him because I looked at him and I was like, but I've seen him do enough in the trailers that I'm like, he's got this, bro. That fucking
he's fine.
The Gom Jabbar scene is just fucking amazing. Like, he looks like he fits it. I love his, like, kind of pompousness because he's supposed to be that way. Son of a duke, you know what I mean? And he's supposed to learn how to lead.
You know who I loved in that trailer? It was I think it was Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
He's in that, right?
Yeah, he's Gurney Halleck.
Like, Gurney, and they're like, they're like, smile. Gurney's like, I am smiling.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, that's cool, motherfucker, right there.
Unfortunately, Gurney is like going to be out of the story for quite a bit of time. We won't get a ton of Gurney. I would have rather honestly seen Josh Brolin in the role of fucking Duncan Idaho, but he's just a little too old. Like Duncan Idaho is supposed to be like, some dude that's in his prime, and Gurney Halleck was played by fucking Captain Picard in the Lynch Dune. Yeah. So, he's supposed to be an old, wizened kind of warrior guy, grizzled veteran of the wars and shit. That's Paul's military trainer.
Yeah, well, But I don't know. The cast seems mostly good. I mean, I have a thing against Jason Momoa, but I'm really going to try as hard as I can to, like, set that aside and be like, all right, I'm going to give this guy his fucking fair shake.
I'm gonna give it its
But-
due. You know,
I don't know that I really have the reservations about Stellan Skarsgård that you do. I feel like he looks cool. The line delivery that we did hear sounded cool.
I want to remind you of something.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm just gonna say it, and you tell me what this is from and who delivered it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're from a more primordial time, a time when the ocean was nothing but flesh and teeth.
Is that from the Meg?
No, that is from Deep Blue Sea, and it's delivered by Stellan Skarsgård, who plays the scientist in that. And he is ham-boned to the fucking max in that movie. He's got to be the worst character. I'm so glad his arm gets ripped off, and he's only in like the first half of the movie because he sucks. He's terrible. So like, I have my reservations about Stellan, and all I've heard from him is something that's kind of like that. Dune takes the weak. This is my Dune. You know, like, it's like, okay, well, what about like you jockeying? And it's like in the book, he's like this politician kind of guy where he will hold court with different people that are adjacent to him. And he loves to tell them about his schemes and shit. And I'm like, if all they're going to do is have him float around looking fat and greasy and go like, this is my Dune. Destroy them all. Burn it down. You know, I'm really going to be disappointed because that's...
You know, I feel like that could work, though. I don't know. Probably not. As well as it could
it's just not the way I like the character. Dude, once again, if that's the case, Lynch's Dune, even though it goes wildly off base, because in the book, he's not covered in sores and shit. He's actually very, like regal, and he's more like a fop in the books.
Well, they describe him as, like, being extraordinarily fat. I remember that, but like
he's fat, but he's always dressed in the great fine. Like he never appears like dirty. He's always in fineries, and he's like an aristocrat, like a vampire aristocrat kind of. And that's not how he's portrayed in what we've seen so far from the book. And I'm fine with them changing that up. I'm just hoping they don't also drop that aristocratic air that he has about him, because he meets with people, has whole conversations with Raban about going and subjugating Arrakis, explains to Fade why he has to do it, kind of explains his whole plan to take Lady Jessica for his own, and blah, 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 blah. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like, if he's not doing that and he's just like grumbling things from on high.
Destroy them.
Yeah, I'm going to be a real...
Burn it all. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, you can tell too that they really think that this is a strong performance, because the McFarlane figurines that I have, you know, he's triple the size of all the other figurines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing. Well, I'll tell you what. They can't take away the fact that he looks cool. He definitely looks cool. Awesome.
I have no problem with the way he looks. I'm just worried that all we're gonna get is that, like, he's so aloof that all he does is grumble at his underlings, you know, every once in a while. Kill Paul Atreides now, you know, and then like everybody else. I don't want that.
Yeah.
The Baron is like jovial, not jovial all the time, but he's like he knows how to play the game. He's a big giant aristocrat in the Launch Strahd.
Yeah, he's a big fat fucking politician.
Right. You know? And so he knows how to come in, you know. I want to see a little of that playfulness in him. He's like
a Snoot from your campaigns.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, a little bit, a big fat Snoot, you know.
Yeah.
But
I always saw Snoot as fat in my mind. Maybe he wasn't.
Hey, that works out. Hey, however it does in people's in minds. Maybe it's because I'm fat and I'm the one playing him. You're just like, oh yes, another fat one.
He just, I don't know. I think it was more just like he seems like he, you know, or whatever. People will see that soon.
Of course. I'm excited for people to get to see that, but yeah.
Oh my God, though. Yeah, I don't know that. I think it's going to be a strong movie. I don't know if it's going to be like superlatively fucking brilliant on every level, but
I think it has the potential to be due to the source material, but we'll see. You know, Denis Villeneuve being at the helm, like just based on the strength of Blade Runner 2048 or whatever it was. I always get the date wrong, but whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever year. Blade Runner that year that happened.
Like, I walked into that with some real hesitant kind of, because I didn't really know much about Denis at that point.
I mean, like, making a sequel to Blade Runner, kind of a tall order for anybody, right? Because whether you like that movie or you don't like that movie, you can't deny that it's like extraordinarily important in terms of like defining a certain style of science fiction dystopia. And it's a very complicated film, and the performances are very nuanced, and the world building is very like in your face in some ways, but very subtle in others.
Yeah.
And there's like a very specific vibe that you have to recreate to really make it feel like you're in that same world again. And like, it's a tall order. I wouldn't want to do it.
Well, it's something that, like, I think if somebody had tried to recreate it totally, it would have missed. And so what Denis did that was brilliant is he took that vibe and put his own spin on it, this neon drenched kind of more intimate spin on that city, and it worked so fucking well. So that I feel like the franchise is in capable hands, and I feel like he really isn't guided by source material. If he's smart, he's not sticking to Lynch's Dune at all. You know what I mean? He's doing his own thing. There's no reason to. So yeah, I don't know. I think it could be a really great film. I think it could be like the best sci-fi film in a long time, especially considering how like disappointing the Star Wars universe has become.
Oh yeah.
And it might spark a resurgence in sci-fi, which I'd be really like happy to see. I like sci-fi.
Yeah, I mean, they do say that, like, they say in that documentary of the Jodorowsky's Dune, the probably the greatest film that never happened. That that movie, if it came out, it might have just like totally changed the DNA of what a blockbuster is in our minds.
Oh yeah,
compared to what it is.
For
Because
sure.
Star Wars kind of set that blueprint in
Yeah.
our world, and this potentially, especially since Star Wars seems like it's kind of waning a little bit. Maybe this like redefines what that is, but that's a lot of fucking.
It's
that's
a
a
lot
lot
of
to
weight
put on
to
a
put
film.
on it.
So.
I've tried to temper my expectations. I've let them get out of control for me. I want it to be a really great film, but I'm not going to be devastated if it's just like good. If
all right.
if I'm like, all right, it's good, it has its problems, it's good, I'm not gonna be like devastated. But if it sucks, bro, I'm gonna have to take some sick leave. You know what I mean? Because I'm
like, I'm gonna fucking dude, you gotta fucking just burn it down if it sucks.
Oh
It's
my
gotta be
God.
your catharsis is just like, all right, I waited fucking.
I'm gonna have to
I don't
walk
even
into the
know how
woods
long.
first. I'm gonna have to walk into the woods first and cleanse my soul if it sucks, and then come back and burn it to the ground to be done with it. Exercise the demon. Because yeah, I don't get hyped about anything anymore. I learned a long time ago that that's just the road to fucking disappointment. So I don't do it. But this one has snuck up on me because I love Dune and I want to see it. So
Yeah, it's like, all right, you got one job, just don't suck.
there's really not many of these that they can do anymore either. Like Dune is kind of like the last. I'm trying to think of other things that I revere that might be adapted into films, and I can't really think of many. You know what I mean? That they could ruin. I've really come to like Transmetropolitan. I need to get the next book of that.
Oh yeah,
I
knew that would be right up your alley.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude. I enjoyed the first book immensely, but I just haven't bought the next one.
Yeah, you got to do that because that shit. That only gets better and better as it goes.
So I've heard. Yeah, it's
the art, I guess, at some point it loses its artist, and the art kind of takes a hit, which sucks because it
that does kind of suck.
But
One of my favorite things about it is just like, well, it's the same way I was when I was a kid. It's like a lot of people look at comic books and they think like, oh, it's so much faster than reading a book. It's like, yeah, if you're just looking at every panel and going like, I'll kill you, Thanos. No, you won't. I'll dominate the world. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you can read a comic book in like 5 minutes or less, but that's not what you do. Like, at least that's not what I did when I was a kid and into them. Like, you read a comic book and you look at every panel. You know what I mean? You imagine it playing out. You imagine the implied motion that's there and the scenery that's behind them and these two characters facing off. You fill in the blanks in your mind, and that takes time. For every page. So
yeah, you don't want to just be like, because then it's like whatever. And why even read a comic book at that point? Just fucking read a short story if all you care about is like the word boxes.
Yeah, I mean the art in comic books is 90% of what made them good when I was a kid. I loved the way that these heroes were portrayed, and I was just lucky to be into them during the whole, the fucking Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War shit was actually out. So that was neat.
Yeah.
So I got to read all those, and I owned them all at some point. Had all the original releases of all those, and they were just great. That whole storyline was great, and it went across multiple comics too. So it wasn't just, there was the main central ones, Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War, but then all of the storylines of like X-Men and X-Force and I'm trying to remember all the other different fucking, you know, X teams there were, the Avengers and all that shit. All those, you know, books were all like other little, it was very much like the Marvel universe is now, where it's like you have all these other little, and I had them all. Like Thor would have a whole one where it's like he faces off against Thanos, and it's something that doesn't involve everybody else, but you want to know what happened in that because it's referenced over here. So I don't know. It was just a cool time for comics. No
doubt. I mean, I don't really know what the comic book fucking market is like today. I don't know what kind of stuff is happening in that world. I found it to be like way too expensive of a fucking hobby. It was just like,
oh yeah,
every fucking cent, like all my money would just go into these comic books. I'm like, yeah, this is just crazy.
I was the same way.
And no matter how much I mean, you know, no matter how much you sit there and admire the artwork and stuff, like a comic book is still, it's you know, it's like a 15-minute thing for the most part.
Yeah, it's a book. It's a little short story that you read, and you can only admire it so much before you want to get the next one. And
right, and
back in the day, they used to be way more accessible. Like when my dad was a kid and stuff, they were way cheaper. They were like a penny. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you get a penny, and then for 5 cents you get a dozen comics or whatever, and kids would just stock up on big boxes of them.
Yeah, and you know, like a thing, something they'll do in like Japan and stuff too is they'll, you know, if you got like a certain vibe you're looking for, they'll sell you a big ass book every month that has a bunch of collected, you know, comics in it.
That's cool.
Oh, this story and this story and this story. And it's like, oh, it's all along a certain theme or whatever, you know? It's like, oh, this is a bunch of sci-fi stories, a bunch of detective stuff. And they have different series that run in there. And, you know, the popular series get picked up and the unpopular ones kind of fall off. And, you know, but you get some real value for your money.
Yeah.
But the American comic books is like, you know, you're paying, I don't even know what the price of a comic book is now, but like, you know, $3.99, $4.99, maybe even $5.99 for like 22 pages.
Right.
And it's like, you know, I mean, no matter how fucking into it you are, you know, it's still going to be like 15 minutes tops to read this fucking thing.
Yeah, right.
And then you got another month till the next one comes out. And you got how many, and then you start collecting more and more series. And the next thing you know, you're buying fucking 30 comics every time you go to the fucking comic book store. And it's like,
yeah. Dude, you know what? Another hobby that I would totally probably still be into if it wasn't such a fucking money sink was that trading card game shit.
Oh yeah.
I was into Magic the Gathering, and to get into it is pretty cheap. You know, you buy like a $20 starter deck or whatever, and you can play some games. It gives you everything you need to do to play some games. But then you realize that your friend that has spent 30 or 40 bucks on packs has more powerful cards than you, and you're losing a lot. So you got to go get a few packs yourself and hope you get the right cards to make your deck better. And it just spirals from there. All of a sudden you're fucking buying cards at the shop for $5 a piece because it's the one you need to complete your, and it's just totally unsustainable for somebody that's working a part-time job as a teenager. Yeah. Even now I wouldn't spend the money that it takes to be competitive at it and shit. And that kind of sucks.
Crazy. No, I mean, like, you know, so many things like that. Comic books are like that. Trading cards of any kind are like that. Whether you're talking about baseball cards, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, whatever, Yu-Gi-Oh,
yeah,
any of that kind of shit. It's just a money sink. Same thing for like, you know, the Beanie Babies. Like anything that's like collectible and there's a shit ton of them. It's you're just, I mean, like you're just looking for a way to like not like I need something to spend all my money on.
Yeah.
No.
The trading card thing really got me when I was a kid. I don't know that it's even a thing anymore, but when I was like a tween and a young teen and shit, like I was into basketball for a while as a teenager. And so I had a whole Fleer set from like 93, got the whole, you know, went and bought enough. Those packs were cheaper though. I remember I could scam my mom out of those easier.
You know, another thing that fucking people will fucking big money hole is, toys. Action figures,
yeah. I can see that.
I know a guy, old childhood friend that I still see every now and again, named Francis.
Yeah.
Who to this day he loves these like
expensive high end.
Yeah, like the Todd McFarlane stuff, and then there's like another company that he buys from. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a bunch of people that left McFarlane and started their own shit, and they do like they're competitive with like equally quality stuff, and it's like high end, very detailed fucking action figures,
Yeah.
and they make it for everything out there. And a lot of times there's limited runs and there's this collectibles market, and it's like, ooh, these are going to just appreciate in value so much over time.
Yeah.
And so every fucking dollar that goes in his pocket that's not going towards like rent or something, it's like, gotta get this toy, gotta get this toy, gotta get this toy. And it's like,
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like, you have a few figurines and shit.
oh yeah, sure. Remember that Manson one I had?
Yeah.
Corn Pop fucking destroyed that fucking thing.
Oh my God.
Just
Corn Pop.
destroyed. That was like a collector's edition. I think it was only like 200 or 300 of the fuckers ever printed, or 500 or something like that. Very like limited run.
The one that was like
super limited, like
him with the blue stripe, standing with the microphone or whatever.
Yeah.
Real delicate. Yeah.
Like $150 or whatever the fuck.
He just like was like, nah.
He knocked it over. It was just, it exploded. It was just destroyed.
Goddamn.
We were finding like little Manson fingers all over the fucking ground.
Oh.
I found another finger, a little tiny. Fucking asshole.
Yeah. Well, I got those Dune ones, and those are the first ones like higher end display type of figures that I've got, and I like them. They're really cool to have. They'll be less cool to have if the movie sucks ass, you know what I mean? But I kind of took
then you should be like, eh.
I just like the way they looked, but I will tell you, after I got them and saw how cool they were, I started looking at the Aliens ones, and I was like, dude, I could get the Queen, and I could get Ripley and the Loader, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, I'm looking at like spending $800 on 2 giant figurines, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you go down that road, you just, you got to fucking acclimate. Like, it's like, do you want to have money for like when you need it, or do you want to have an action figure collection? Because it's almost like you got to make that choice.
Yeah, I like having stuff to look at, but I don't know that I could have like tons and tons of action figures or something. It would drive me nuts.
Yeah, because you'd have to get like shelves, and
when you move, you gotta like make bags and label them all. Like, this is this part, and this is this part, and this goes to this guy, and this goes to this guy, and you gotta take them all apart and fucking bag them up, and fuck that, man.
Yeah, and I'm already looking down the barrel of like, I have too much stuff, and I mean, obviously, I want to get the fuck out of Louisiana because this hurricane shit. And I'm just like, I'm trying to fucking downsize shit.
Dude, you should put up some shit to bid to the community, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Another thing is, I lost my fridge and my freezer are just fucking ruined because food rotted in them.
Yeah.
So those are fucked now. Because I didn't want to take the food out before I left, because I figured like, well, if something happens, I'll just be able to clean them out. But I found out, no. If food rots in your fridge or freezer, you're never getting the smell out. You can bleach it, you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's just fucked.
That sucks.
So I had no idea about that. I wish someone had told me that before. But whatever. So those are fucked up. I gotta fucking do an insurance claim on those. It's like, yeah.
That sucks, dude. So
even when I do get back, I'm gonna have no fucking refrigerator, so I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. But
dude, it's so hot over here too. This room back here gets hot. It has one tiny little vent in it. You can see I'm schwitzing.
Yeah, and it's just I'm in the house. My uncle's house doesn't even have central air. There's a window unit over there, but I had to block the
path of it.
Because it was too loud on this Yeti mic.
Yeah.
So this room is just like a little heat box.
Yeah, it just gets so fucking hot. I'm just so done with the goddamn summer, dude.
Yeah, I'm always done with it. I'm always like fall. I like fall. I usually like winter as long as I'm not somewhere too cold.
Dude, I live in an area that will cock tease you too. Like, there was like a half week where it was just like I was sitting outside and it never got hot, and it was just like nice cool breeze, and I was like, oh man, autumn is coming. Yeah, autumn. And then today it's like 104 out there, just roasting. I'm just like, oh man.
I can't complain too much because I don't think it's that hot here, but it's pretty hot in this room at this point.
It's hot as shit here.
I can't even complain at all because
I'll tell you exactly how hot it is here. It's 102 degrees and sunny.
Oof. Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people in Louisiana right now. I don't know what it is there, probably at least in the 80s or 90s. And the humidity down there, and they ain't got I think there's still 700,000 people with no power, something like that. Crazy number of people. no electricity.
I can't
so
even
they're all
imagine that
just
shit.
Fucking, I'd be like,
That's
fuck
what I
this.
feared the most down there. That's one of the main reasons why I got out. It's not necessarily I thought that like my shit was gonna get blown away by a storm. It's more like I'm gonna end up stuck for like 2 weeks in this 90-degree, 100% humidity shit.
Well, I mean, just look at me. I mean, I'm here. I had to drive up to fucking St. Louis, Missouri, which is like a 9 or 10 hour drive from where I live.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm staying here with my uncle, and I love seeing him and stuff, and it's great to see him again. But like, the reality is, you know, I didn't want to have to impromptu, because of a fucking weather event, be removed from my house for, it's been a week now.
Right.
Could be longer. I don't know. Could be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now I happen to think that I've heard some encouraging signs that my power will be back soon. But
Hopefully. No.
who
Fingers
fucking
crossed.
even knows?
I mean,
you
the
know?
sooner you can start working towards getting the fuck out of there, the better, you know, in my opinion.
Amen. Yeah, 100%. No
'Cause
doubt.
Fuck that state, bro. I'm not an evangelist for California. I ain't married to this place. I'm looking at some other places myself, but you know, at the very least, it's been a giant catastrophic storm hasn't hit me yet. So
Yeah. And I mean, you're not on the San Andreas or anything. So even if the big,
it runs across,
earthquake-
it runs crossways across the valley, so from mountain to mountain. But whatever the fuck, I'm not close enough to any of that to have anything
so
other than I'll feel it if a big one hits, but.
Yeah, I guess you have like probably the biggest thing you worry about there is like obviously the heat.
The heat and the drought.
dryness.
Yeah, the drought.
Droughts conditions are pretty bad.
I've been fighting my fucking well, which is petering out over here, and my landlords are old people that can't afford to dig a new well. So I'm just like, looking down the barrel of that.
What do I do? What do I do here?
I offered them to buy the house. You know what I mean? So because I have the money to, you know, I don't have the money on hand to do it, but I could take out a fucking bank loan and shit and have that added onto it. And they flat turned me down. So it's just like, all right, oh, I got to get out of here, I guess, then.
Yeah, because especially if they're not doing anything about the water situation.
I mean, it's not like we don't have water. It's just I have to walk all the way out to the fucking pump twice a day and restart it because it gets overloaded.
That sucks.
And we don't notice until I try and turn on a sink and it comes out like an old man's piss dribble. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay.
All right.
No water for the next
this.
15 minutes while the pump catches up. Got it. Let me take another excursion outside. You saw my backyard too. It's no small peanuts. It's not a comfortable stroll right outside my backyard.
Yeah,
you know?
I didn't see where the water thing was, but your yard is pretty big.
It's all the way in the back of the yard, so it's
so
it's a country stroll.
You got a little journey.
It's a country fucking stroll.
The crispy remnants of where grass once was.
I'm just ready for it to be colder than a witch's tit again. I'm ready for it to be cold in my house and like bundled up in my house.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
I miss that shit. I can't tell you how much I miss that shit. Because like right now, all I want to do is strip off everything I'm wearing and sit around naked in my living room where it's coldest. And
I mean, I'm here in my underwear because there ain't no way I'd be wearing jeans in this. So.
Oh my god, I made the mistake of putting pants on, but those are coming off as soon as this is fucking
I'm
done.
Just like, fuck that.
Ridiculous shit.
Yeah, fucking all that bullshit. Terrible. But yeah, I hate heat. I just want it to be cold.
That's why I'm honestly looking at Alaska as a possible place. Legal weed.
Yeah, legal
check.
weed.
Cold as a witch's tit. Although I'd have to learn how to use a snowblower. But my mom was telling me this shit. I was over at my mom's a few days ago, and she was like, you're going to have to shovel snow. And I was like, Mom, no. They have snow blowers, and they've got machines. And whatever it is, I'm going to buy whatever the fucking top of the line one is, and I'm going to learn how to run it and, make it as, clean off my driveway with it. I mean, it's going to suck, but fuck, man. So does sitting here baking like a big, nasty Irish potato in the sun. You know what I mean?
Pygar. No. Both times now.
It's fuck him. Let him join in. Let her join in. Let Pygar join in, dude. We're one person short anyway.
Yeah. What's that, Pygar? No, you can't say that anymore.
Yeah, dude, that's way too edgy.
No, you can't. No. Hey. What do you think this is? Fucking 2011 YouTube? You can't be saying that shit.
Pygar's in a small southern town, dog. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jesus.
It just
A
hasn't
little bit
caught
much,
up.
girl.
The woke revolution hasn't reached there yet, you know?
Hasn't reached dogs yet.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a grease trap, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh. All right. Well, if it is, am I kind of
Yeah, you're
right now?
you're a little stuttery, but whatever. Your audio's fine. So hey.
Okay, well, that's really what matters more than anything.
Any port in a storm, you know.
Amen. Literally.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody for watching. See you next time. More greasy, trappy goodness. Bye.